This daf Yom Yerushalmi Challah, and the article host for edition one daf Lam Medal and Amalf. We're on the fourth line down. Place Rabbi Bun Barchia to see Rabbi Zira, and that is in the Vilna on daf Chaf Amud Beis, and that is the third line down. Place Rabbi Bun Barchia. Okay, so a little bit of an introduction. Going back to yesterday. Yesterday we said that Boon Bar. Well, let's read it actually first line inside. And this is where according to the Groaz Girsa, it was Yerushalmi's Girsa, Leisa Daribun Bechia Testiva Rabbi Zira. The Rei Truma Ev Shalos Chulin. So on that which Meir Yeshiva said before, that according to Bun Barchia rejected Rabbi Zira's comparison to Menachos, between the Challah and Menachos, because he said the reason why it can be motzi from the Challah, the Tevel Tova Challah, even on the part of Tevel Tova Challah which is mixed in to the already fixed dough. Why do we say you could do that? Is because since not all the Tevel Tova Challah can become Truma, part of it is always going to remain Chulin. So it's a different type of Chulin. So therefore, it's considered min b'mino, that type of chulin from the tevel tavo le challah, versus the chulin of the already fixed dough, and therefore it's min b'mino. It's not butter, and therefore you can take off challah on the totality, even on the chulin which got mixed up in the other chulin. And now, and this is so we say, okay, the part of the teva which is eventually going to become chulin is going to mean it's not bata. But what about the part of the teva which is eventually going to become truma? No, it's challah. That should be min misheno mino and should be bata, right? So that's the case. If it's that, it's a davar batas as if it doesn't exist. How can it be mavish even minei ubei? About to make whatever the part which is going to be truma is going to be batel in the chulin, so therefore there's no way to fix it. Okay, so again, leisa rabun b'chiyat the siv Rabbi Zira, the that which we said that the language used yesterday was Leisa Dadar Bezira Tesivra Ibun Barchia. So now it's saying Leisa Dadar Ibun Barchia Tesivra Bezira. The opposite way around. In other words, wait a minute, you can't. The distinction you made is not a valid distinction. Because okay, yeah, chulin can be, it's not bala chulin, but what about the fact that it can become challah? It should be bato, right? So how can it be mavish minei ubei? So again, Leisa Dadar Ibun Barchia to see Rabbi Zira. That which Ibn Barchia said is not going to be a rejection of Rabbi Zira, because Truma Yev Shalos is Chulin. The Truma can't become Chulin. Whatever's going to make Truma can't become Chulin, and therefore it's min b'sheino mino. Again, we're dealing with this halachic kind of min b'sheino mino, supposed to, because in reality it's all the same grain. So it's halachic min b'sheino mino. Therefore, it's going to be bata. That can be mafresh. So Amar Lei, so he responded, and I guess Ibn Bachir is responding. And the way to read this is not the way it says in Gemara. Now I should really read the whole thing in one fell swoop. You see the change in the girsa here. The way it's supposed to be read is the Leisa Dore Bun Berchia to see where I was here. Very Truma Yev Shalos Chulin. Amarlei no Im Shemat Lo Bata Av Sheman Lo Bata Shekvar Kodesh. So rejects. He says that's not difficult because when is the Truma? But when with the Truma? No, it was the Challah. We keep saying Truma, but when is the Challah going to be Batel? Before it's when you want the truma to be batel, before it's mufresh for the purpose of truma, since you don't know which part is going to become truma, again, challah, it's not batel. It's still it's mimino. It's chulin b'chulin, right? It hasn't yet been made into to truma. After now, the fact that it's tevo, for some reason that doesn't bother us. It's still considered min b'mino. It's not batel. After it's separated as truma, you took it out of the taroivas because you take the challah out. Oh, you take the challah out. At that point, it's only part of the taroivas. It's not batel to it. Not a problem, right? So when we talk about lamalo lamata, lamata means when it's not yet set aside, and lamala is already after it's set aside and uplifted, right? So amalei im l'shalamata and lo batel. If when it's down below, it's not batel because it's mino. And I want to go back to this point I just made, which is even though now it's tevel, it's not chulin, but since it can become chulin, so therefore it's like halachically min b'mino, and therefore it's not batel. Once you take it out, then you designate it as truma, as challah. So of course it's not batel because it's physically separate. So therefore it's not an issue. Okay, so therefore there's never any problem. You can always be mafresh from the tevel, which is tovel. The challah on itself, and with chomakom shehem, wherever the chulin is in the wherever it is in the dough, because it has potential chulin it's not batel, and it's even though it could become truma, but challah, it's only whenever you take out, it's going to become challah at that time, and therefore it's not going to be batel physically. It's not comparable to menachos. We remain with this rejection of the comparison of Rabbi Zira. It's not comparable to menachos, because menachos, the shirayim in the whatever remains was going to be shiurim menachos in the mixture with the chulin is mimasheno mino, and therefore it's going to be batel in the chulin, whatever chulin it's mixed in, and therefore you can never take off a kaimetz properly on that on the shirayim of that mincha. Okay, and that's the end of that sugya. Now we go on to the next sugya. That was in our Mishnah. If you took or shalohum chalasa, you took the dough which was the same case. You took the dough which the challah was not taken off, and you put it into a dough which the challah was taken off. If you have parnas and makamacher, you take off the cheshbon. So same case you're dealing with now, but a different aspect. Don't say that you need to have in the other dough the shir chi of challah unto itself. Rather, you bring a dough which has 4 revaim, which is one less, obviously, than the 5 revaim you need, and you're meshich, you bite it into the for the isa, which has the rova kavs, or which the chal has not been taken off, from which the chal has not been taken off, in a manner which, since it's biting, it's going to remain slightly connected. So therefore, then in that case, we know we had this previously that's going to be never chibur in order to take off challah from one part on the other part. Let's read inside. Right, you bite them, and then you can separate from the second dough on the first dough, and no problem. Okay. Rabbi Yochanan B'Shem Bezir says Zosameres rovas or shnipa mukomo. You have a rova of sora which is tevel in its place. Tova arba rovim b'mokom acher. So when you need 4 rovin which don't have a shir challah, and you're noshing them with a rova kav sora which is tevel challah from another dough, that all becomes one large dough to become chayiv together. And hadar marash anoshuk Torah, which tells us that, which is not the main. This is the main part of the chiddush, which is the biting is considered to be a unification, and it's all chayiv together. Okay. Rabbi Yima said bispalgin Shimon Lakish. It's a machlekes if this is actually the case. Yochanan says Nashuk is considered to be a chibur d'oraisa. Shimon Lakish ain't a Nashuk. He says no, it's not midoraisa. Chir Barba machliv shmuasa. Chir Barba turns around the attributions. He says that Rabbi Yochanan says not a chibur d'oraisa, and Reish Lakish holds it is a chibur midoraisa. Bonkum Rabbi Yossi. That's from Rabbi Yossi. Achmat mean Rabbi Yochanan. Did you hear from Rabbi Yochanan what his shita is, whether Nashul Schiba Daraisa or not? Amalei said, Onam Rosham is Klum. I did not hear anything about this whatsoever. However, Elon, the Farish Milan Rabban Min Leon. We can extrapolate from the words of Chamim elsewhere to over here. The Talmud team learned over there. This is a Mishnah in Tvul Yom. So about a Kohen who gathered a piece of challah which was separated from doughs and put them next to each other. And he has a mind to separate them and not to make them one large dough. And they became so connected to the point that if you try to separate them, they are still going to bite into each other. In other words, each one is going to take off a little bit from the other. So the question is chibur for tuma for tvul yom. So the thing that when amachlis chaos, somebody puts chaos together, I'm not safrish. You want to separate them eventually. The nashcho and they bit into each other. But shamreim chibur, sham say tvul yom, and if one tvul yom touches one of these, as if he touches all of them, and they all become tamei, just like, and that's the status. It's tvul yom passes truma, he also passes challah. Beisomim enochi, where it still says it's not a chibur. Only that piece he touched becomes tamei, puzzle, and not the other pieces. It's not considered one dough. And when Shimon Lakish said, "Mimadina eno chibur," since it's not connection, the Damra teaches us she'ein chayav alei mishum tamei ochel tor. He says that if it's not a chibur for tvul yom, it's also not a chibur for tamei gomer. That if a tamei touches one of them, it's not considered to be it's not considered to be that all of them are tamei. Let's show language of tamei ochel tar means. Well, that's easy here because even though Levi Yerushalmi for some reason doesn't take out ochel tar, the Rastavillio, the Rafulda, the Grind, and Chaim Kanievsky all do. So I guess the Levi Yerushalmi just figure we'll understand it's lav davka. This is mishum tamei. Okay, so the Damar she'en chayim mishum tamei. So Rabbi Yochanan said shani b'tvul yom. No, tvul yom is different. T'chsibei v'tor v'tamei. It says it says that Nashul is going to chibur by shar tumos. By tvul yom it's not, because it's too is less, because the pasuk says v'lo yacham mekach b'leikach habeis l'vav lo yacham mekachim kimur chas b'sor b'mayim. You shouldn't eat from the kachim unless you rinse your flesh in water. Haruachat, and the implication is if you rochetz, it's tar immediately. It wouldn't need harav shemesh, but then immediately it says afterwards, uvoah shemesh v'toher. It's the next pasuk. You need harav shemesh. So from the Bavli learns this, Yibamas ayin down base that for Ma'aseh tvul yom is tar immediately. Truma is not tar until evening, but since it's a quasi tuma, so therefore the Beisil was makel here that noshchel is not considered to be chibur. But for tamei, it is considered to be chibur, right? So as he's saying, Shai Amalei Rabbi Yochanan Shai b'tvul yom d'chsibei tar v'tamei. It says tar one pasuk, tamei another pasuk. Tar l'maiser mi bod yom. Just like change the gears here for the nachulin, the maiser, the rest of the wheels change the gears. Levi Yerushalmi as well. Tar l'maiser mi bod yom u'l'trum mishetechshach. Okay, so now from this we can extrapolate. Heavy, the Rabbi Yochanan du Amar davar she'eno chibur b'tvul yom tarahi. So Rabbi Yochanan says that b'tvul yom it's not considered chibur, but for other tumas it is. So he clearly holds that nashuk is a chibur midaraisa, except for tvul yom, right? Davar she'en chibur tvul yom tarahi and everything else. Du Amar shan nashuk tera. Clearly holds nashuk tera. Shlakish du Amar eno tera. Shlaki says it's not Torah. Da'amar ena nashuk Torah. He says that it's never considered to be a chibur. So obviously, Yotz nashuk is not a chibur deraisa, only a chibur derabbanan. Okay, the sugya continues. with a question on Reish Lakish, but this is already on Lamed Hey Amud Aleph, so therefore we'll leave the question for tomorrow.